A very warm welcome to StocksKenn platform. Knowing before you invest is a simple mantra behind StocksKenn. And Kennen in German means to know, and that has been the origin of our name, StocksKenn. Your time is precious, so what we'll do is we'll have timestamps in the video so that you can easily navigate. And I will also try to focus only on the key features instead of covering all the features in that. You can self-navigate it. Let us jump directly into the platform and explore how we have structured the take investor should follow in the investment journey. Probably it's also the right time to highlight that we are not a registered financial advisor so far, and we want you to use this platform as a research only platform and do your own due diligence before you invest real money. With that out of the way, let us jump into the features. The first tab when you log in is called Profile. Here you can give all your credentials and details about yourself, about your tax jurisdictions, about uh, your expenses, your assets, your risk tolerances, and so on, and click on Generate AI Research Summary. What this will do is it will generate a detailed analysis of your current financial situation, and this is a very important start in our opinion, which will give you an overview of where you are. It will give you very much insights into your uh, net worth overall, your geographical risks and opportunities. You will be compared against a gold standard so that it's a very neutral way to compare your assets globally. Um, you'll also be getting a lot of inputs on your tax jurisdictions and other details and how you can optimize. Some pointers will be shared. So it gives you very rich information when you click and create your own profile. And one of the key things which probably you'll also get is if you decide to do a stock investment based on your profile and your risk uh, uh, appetite, also define numerically a value how much you should invest in stocks, and that becomes like a precursor for the coming steps. So we will highly encourage that you go through this profile creation. It has been structured that no personal information is shared online, and we anonymize everything, and then only we generate prompts. So all your information is very safe. You can safely do this activity to get a lot of insights on your profile. So this is your first step in our opinion, which will be a precursor to the next portfolio builder. The next tab is portfolio builder, and here on the left side you will fill in how much you would like to invest in stocks. You will define your target markets where you want to invest. Say I've selected USA and Switzerland to start. You will define your risk threshold, your time horizon, and anything related to ESG screening you would like. You'll generate a portfolio. And what this feature does is it looks at the global tailwinds in these markets, look at the government policies, and give you a very detailed insight on these two elements. In addition, it also looks at the key sectors within these markets which are making sense or which have a high chance of performing better in coming 3 to 6 months. It based on that, it also selects which sector you should invest, does the allocation summary for you, and also recommend some of the stock tickers from these markets with some target weights. Now, this approach is very basic, and it's to motivate you to start. And you see there are a lot of tickers it tries to come out with, and you can use this as a starting point to your journey of researching these companies. And in the background, it is doing a lot of heavy lifting. So it takes a little time to do it because it's looking at our proprietary setup. It also looks at ETFs which are in the market so that it matches with smart money, how it is flowing and all. So it gives you a very good starting point. It's a little lazy approach, but it's a good starting point for someone who want to look at some list of stocks and go to the next level. And this is a precursor for our next phase where we will go a little deep into more customized details and take you forward to the journey. Cheers. Rankings is the next feature which I have created. Here, it's an approach of a screener. So it helps you navigate not all the stocks at a time, but you can build your filters. You can select some parameters so that you only look at a set of stocks which are making sense for you based on your selected criteria. So here you can add filters and uh, give your criteria, and based on which it will automatically show you only a subset of stocks because it's not practical to look at all the 1700 plus stocks, right? So that's what it enables. But the key differentiation here you will see is there are a lot of customized rankings and parameters which we have created. Let me quickly take you through the key ones. The first one you see is a score which we are calling. It's basically a relative strength score on how the stock is performing versus the underlying index, and its absolute score. And you also get a percentage change from week on week. So from last week to this week, how the momentum is changing. So that's how you'll read most of the parameters here. If you hover on I, you will get an idea about what this parameter is all about. If you look at these light blue ones, these are mainly aligned on the fundamentals. So we have custom ranking mechanism for trailing 12 months quarterly, and we come up with a ranking and also the weekly comparison. Or not weekly in this case, it's more quarterly comparison because quarterly your fundamentals change. So how it is changing quarter on quarter is the percentage change. Rule of 40 is another parameter which is sort of standard in the industry, and it gives you if comparison on the growth stocks. And same is with capex. We are looking at which stocks are doing heavy capex during the quarter, and that's the basis of these ranking. So you see, these are a little custom ranking we have created. The other few custom ranking and features which we have here is this AI sector score. So what you can look at which sectors are there, but AI sector score gives you an idea of which are the top sectors. So if you see this #6 is the rank of that sector in overall scale, and the overall score of that sector is also calculated. And this is done on a weekly basis. So you get a weekly basis idea of how the sector is performing or how the industry is performing and scoring. Sometimes you see NA, which is basically you don't have the adequate parameters to calculate. So that's why it comes. Other few important ones which we have customized is volume signal. So it analyzes the volume and look at some of the patterns in the volume. And mainly we are focused on weekly right now. So if this week's volume is more than previous week volume, then that highlights. Or if you have like 4 consecutive green volumes, that is highlighted, and so on. So there are multiple um, signals on volume. Price signal is same. So we are trying to identify the price action. Price breakout also we are capturing. So here you can figure out if there is any price breakout versus the defined resistance, or if it is also crossing CEMA 21, we are trying to capture that. So these are customized fields, I would say, and you can also customize your view by enabling other parameters. So a lot of parameters are available for you to play with. It's important that you understand these parameters because this is the precursor for the next advanced phase when we'll cover other key features. Next, let us explore the tab strategies. Here, what we want to achieve is to make you think like a fund manager. And that is, I think, one of the critical aspects to be a successful investor. Because a fund manager looks at a lot of different things, and that is what I want to take you through here. So you'll come to the strategy tab and you'll create a new strategy. I've already created a test strategy, so I will just reopen it. So this is the view you will have. Here, you will have to go and select all the parameters. So let's take. So what I did was I've given a buy entry rule. You can also put a sell entry rule. So I've given a buy entry rule of saying the score, which is the relative strength score, which has weekly percentage change has to be positive. So weekly change of the score has to be greater than 0. And I'm saying the price should be breaking out from a resistance. So it's very simple criteria I've taken. You can create multiple criteria by adding the rules or making or rules, and also make it more complicated as you practice. So this is one of the first aspect. How will you enter a trade? So that is defined using the rules. Then you will come to exit criteria, which is how will you exit the trade. So that has to be defined. I have selected it should, as soon as the price crosses below the EMA line on weekly 21 EMA, you will exit that. So you have put entry rule, exit rule. Then you have to define what is your risk management. So risk management is what is the stop loss when you enter, you are okay with, right? So you define the 7% below my entry point is my stop loss and I'll exit. You can define your take profit or keep it blank as you want. If you want to, suppose you want to trail the stop loss, you can also keep it blank. So let's make it, remove it. And I have selected, so you have multiple selection, but let me show you one, which is hybrid, where till the stop loss, we will keep on increasing the trailing stop loss, and after that the ATR will take over as a stop loss. So you'll select all the time frames. So it's a weekly time frame. Um, if the price moves 4%, our stop loss will move by 3% till we reach this our 7% stop loss, and after that it is ATR based, right? So that is defined here. The other thing in the strategy will define is, in case you have a limited fund and you cannot trade say more than 4 stocks at a time, so you can also define it here that okay, in my strategy I want to take only 4 trades, and that creates a problem that how will the fifth trade, if it is identified, will be replacing the existing trade or will be considered, and that is the force replacement criteria. So whenever there is a fifth trade which comes in your strategy, it will be replaced using the quarterly rank. So this is the fundamental rank parameter which we covered in the ranking section. So this is what you'll define here. Also, you can define what is the position sizing. So here, if you say I want to trade, one trade should be around 3,000 US dollars. So it will take it from here and it will calculate the nearest number of stocks and use that as a criteria to execute your trade in strategy. So you have put your entry exit criteria with the risk management. Here you have defined your execution criteria. And the third leg is where you are defining the strategy where you want to implement. So here you can select a full market. So I want to implement in full NASDAQ or NSE or Swiss market. Or you can also define within NASDAQ, I want to select a specific sector or industry. So you can keep your focus or define a focus using these available parameters. Or you can say, okay, I want to specify a list of stocks which I'm comfortable with. So you can also define that, or you can define a global one where all the markets will be considered as part of the strategy. But for this situation, let us only take Nasdaq, and I will do it, and I will save it. So this is how you'll create a strategy of yours. Now here, one more option I want to cover is active and inactive. So this is predominantly for front testing, and if you have made it active, then the strategy will be subjected to front testing, and you will see it in your front testing tab once it is enabled. But for now, let's consider that you've created a strategy. So if you go back, you will see your strategies here. But right now, you don't see any of the performance summary because we have not run the strategy on a historical data. So once you run it, you'll also see the performance summary. And for that, I will cover it in the next section called backtesting. So when you come to backtesting, after you have created your strategies, you will be able to select the strategy you have created under the strategy. So we created a test online. So if I select that, then it will capture all the criteria of from that strategy and fill the details here. So you can eyeball that this is your strategy. Here you have to also specify in the historical time frame under what time frame you want to run the strategy to see how it performed. So I will take a shorter duration, say let's run it for the few months, just to not keep you all waiting while it runs. So I go to March and I'll run it till say 25th of July when we are creating this video, and I'll run it. So it is executing that strategy criteria throughout the history, and we selected Nasdaq. So nearly 500 plus stocks are being looked at, and it is generating a report. What I would like you to focus on after it has generated the report is how rich the output has been, and how you can read this output and refine your strategy. So it is a loop which will get generated from backtesting result. Here, one issue which you will face is you should never over adjust your strategy because you're running it in a very high pool. So over adjustment is a problem which you should be aware of. But now it has run, so you can see in a snapshot that it has captured 30 trades with a win probability of 56.7. The payoff ratios, rank, profit factors, Sharpe ratio. And because we had specified 4 as the maximum trades, so and 3,000 per trade, so 12,000 was a maximum capital deployed, and it generated around 3.7k as part of the strategy over a matter of I think few months. And on the maximum capital, it has returned around 31%. So you get a graphical representation compared with all the markets. You can also see it has beaten the market returns in case you had invested the same amount in the market versus the strategy. The strategy has been clearly a winner. It gives you all the details, and this is what you can use for refining your strategy further on. And you can also review which trade it took, whether the um, exit reasons are as per your defined risk criterion. So you can define all those things. And this is the output which gives you a conviction about your strategy in the first go that, okay, historically my strategy has been performing well. So it has a potential and I should deep dive into how I will try to use it. So that's in a nutshell is the strategy engine. And now if I go to strategy, you'll see that the performance summary is also visible here, yeah, of what you have run. So that's more or less what I wanted to cover in the strategy, and backtesting. Next, we will look at advanced features on how we can link brokers and do paper trading out of this strategy. So far, we covered how you can create your own strategy as a fund manager and do backtesting to get conviction about your strategy, right? Now, the obvious next step is to play your strategy in a live environment or live market. And there you have two options which we are trying to offer you. The first option is front testing. So if you go to your strategy and try to enable the toggle to active and save it, what it will enable is it will enable your strategy for front testing. And then when you go to front testing, you can select your strategy and see how it has been performing over the past time frame. And if you just started, then of course you need to give it time to see how it is performing over the coming weeks or months. So this is one way you can validate your strategy and gain conviction. The other way to gain conviction is if you go back to the strategy, you can enable a auto trading option with your broker. So if you go here, you can set up your broker, and here you can add a broker. You can provide, we have enabled Alpaca for now for US. We are also going to introduce for Swiss and Indian market the brokers. We enable paper trading uh, for the free account, and only for pro we are going to also enable a live trading option. And once you have given your API keys and secret, you can save it and it will show it in your list of brokers. And if you have a broker, you can enable it in the auto trade. I will quickly log in into my another account where I have it enabled so that you can see how it looks. So here, if I go to brokers, you see I've added a broker. And if I've added and there is a live trading happening on that broker as a paper account or live, then I will see all the trades in my order history. And just to go back in the strategy, if I go, I can enable the auto trade using this option. And here it will give me an option to enable it and select which broker I want. So it's as simple as that, how you enable a broker to do a real life trading and see how your strategy is performing. And once you do it for a few weeks, a few months, you will get enough conviction to now start trading using your actual money. And of course, it comes with a risk, but doing this step by step process, I think will give you more confidence and it will also help you understand all the pitfalls. So that's our main intention in StocksKenn, to enable you, and you keep refining your strategy and keep making mistakes, small mistakes, but learn from them and become a better investor. Thanks. Sector analysis is another very interesting feature we are developing, where I think in the industry, sector rotation is a common concept where the smart money keeps moving from sectors to sector, and you should have an eye on where the smart money is moving and follow it. So to enable it, how we have structured it is, one is based on the data, how week on week which sector is doing better than others, right? So we are using a scoring mechanism. You can also look at monthly or quarterly which sector is doing better. And here, I think looking at the sectors, not the full picture. So you should go on granular level and look at the industry within the sectors also. So you have that view as well to look at how which industry within the sectors are also performing, right? So you can be more specific in your stock selection journey. In addition to this, on the right side is where we are trying to leverage AI to identify which are the sectors which probably are more future oriented for next coming 3 to 6 months. lookout here. So you see Nasdaq semiconductors is one of the top uh, sector or industry to look at. In Switzerland, steel is biotechnology, steel are doing better than others. So this also gives you an idea where you need to invest your money in the coming future, and that is the beauty of this sector analysis. Fundamental analysis is another feature where uh, we are trying to display or share a lot of data points and a little bit information about the company. So if you are lost and you want to know a little bit more on the company, you can come here, select which company you want to know more about, and read about it. The links are provided. It has its um, results historically, how they have performed, their fundamental ranking. If their analyst estimates are there, these are mentioned here. Their earning histories, ownership history, financial statements, all these are available for you to look into and take a judgment on the company itself. So very interesting setup. The more you deep dive, the better it is. Contact us is a section where we have given you option to join our WhatsApp community. Also, interact with us in case you find bug or you want something new feature or any issue you have. You can contact us via contact us form. We will also be introducing an affiliate program where you can promote our application to your friends and uh, generate revenue for yourself. So these features are going to come under contact us. So keep a lookout.